Fame can elevate you to unimaginable heights, but it can also bring you crashing down in the blink of an eye. How does a beloved reality TV star, known for his humor and relatable persona, spiral into a world of legal battles and public scandal? This is the story of Austin Chumlee Russell, the pawn shop star who became an unlikely cultural icon, only to face a shocking downfall that left fans and friends alike in disbelief. What happened behind the scenes, and how did Chumlee's story evolve from being a light-hearted reality show personality to a man in the fight of his life? For over a decade, Chumlee was the heart of Pawn Stars, the hit reality show that brought the world of antiques and collectibles into the spotlight. Known for his easygoing nature, quirky humor, and ability to connect with both the customers in the store and viewers at home, Chumlee quickly became a fan favorite. He wasn't just a sidekick to the more serious members of the pawn shop family, he was a star in his own right. But what most fans didn't see was the pressure building behind Chumlee's calm exterior. The transformation from a regular pawn shop employee to a beloved television personality wasn't all smooth sailing. While the cameras captured his carefree attitude and comedic timing, there was an entirely different life brewing behind the scenes. As Pawn Stars grew in popularity, so did Chumlee's personal brand. His catchphrases, appearances, and even his own candy shop on Las Vegas-famed Fremont Street only heightened his celebrity status. He was living the high life, with luxury cars, expensive sneakers, and a lifestyle that many could only dream of. However, fame has a way of changing people, and for Chumlee, that change was drastic. Behind the bright lights and shiny cars, Chumlee was fighting a battle within himself. The stark contrast between the lovable character fans adored and the pressure of sudden celebrity created a sense of internal conflict that Chumlee struggled to keep hidden. "I lived two completely different lives," he once admitted. Fame, he confessed, had made him feel invincible, too invincible, perhaps. With every photo snapped and every public appearance, Chumlee's world became more surreal and detached from the humble life he had once known. As Pawn Stars reached its peak, drawing millions of viewers, Chumlee's personal struggles worsened. The man who once walked into a pawn shop with no more than a simple goal of working hard now found himself juggling an overwhelming whirlwind of excess. His new life of luxury, constantly under the media's watchful eye, started to take a toll. In an interview, Chumlee revealed that the fame he once enjoyed had become suffocating. "I couldn't even go to Walmart without being stopped for a photo. It drove me crazy." To cope with the pressures, Chumlee turned to unhealthy outlets. Little did he know that these choices would soon catch up to him in the most dramatic of ways. March 2016, this was the month that everything changed. What started as an investigation into an alleged sexual assault at Chumlee's Las Vegas home quickly spiraled into something far more severe. During a police raid, authorities uncovered firearms, illegal drugs, and drug paraphernalia. This discovery turned the once beloved TV star's life upside down. It was the beginning of a lengthy legal battle that would not only test Chumlee's freedom but also shake the very foundation of his career. For Chumlee's loyal fans, the news was a devastating blow. How could the same man who charmed millions with his innocent persona now be linked to such dangerous and reckless behavior? The evidence was overwhelming: guns, drugs, and items that painted a picture of a lifestyle completely at odds with the image Chumlee had so carefully cultivated. As the charges piled up, legal experts speculated that Chumlee could face decades in prison if convicted. Fans were left heartbroken, questioning what had gone wrong, and how the man they had grown to love had fallen so far from grace. When Chumlee finally stood before a judge, the courtroom was thick with tension. It wasn't just a trial for one man's freedom, it was a trial that could potentially spell the end of Pawn Stars itself. As prosecutors laid out the serious charges, it became clear just how deep Chumlee had fallen. There were firearms, drugs, and evidence that suggested a much darker side to the man who had once been the lovable comic relief of the show. The tension was palpable as the defense tried to argue that Chumlee's actions were the result of fame gone wrong, that the sudden rush of celebrity had clouded his judgment. He never intended to harm anyone, his lawyer claimed, emphasizing that his client had no prior criminal record. But the scale of the items found at his residence, assault rifles, drugs, made it clear that there was more to the story. As the prosecutor painted a grim picture of Chumlee's lifestyle, the reality of the situation started to sink in. It wasn't just about the legal ramifications anymore. It was about Chumlee's life, his career, his reputation, and the lives of those around him who had supported him throughout the years. The courtroom drama reached its peak when Chumlee finally entered his plea. The emotional weight of the moment was heavy. He pled guilty to possession of firearms and drugs, and the remaining charges were dropped. Still, the judge's final statement was not lenient. Chumlee would be sentenced to 3 years of probation with strict conditions: counseling, regular drug testing, and community service. As the judge read out the final sentence, Chumlee, who had already been under immense emotional stress, began to show signs of physical distress. His hands trembled, his face grew pale, and suddenly he collapsed. The room fell silent as medical staff rushed to his side, and his lawyer desperately tried to steady him. This moment was a gut-wrenching reminder of just how much Chumlee had been struggling, physically, mentally, and emotionally. His collapse in court was not just a result of the trial's outcome, but the culmination of years of pressure, fame, and personal turmoil. Fans, who had once watched him with affection on TV, now watched in horror as the reality of the situation hit home. The world was left holding its breath as Chumlee was attended to by paramedics. In that moment, it seemed as if his fate hung in the balance. The media buzzed, fans flooded social media with their concerns, and many hoped that this would mark the turning point for the man they once adored. 3 days later, Chumlee appeared on social media, his trademark smile barely visible through the lingering effects of the emotional and physical toll he had endured. He thanked his fans for their support and vowed to make better decisions moving forward. He admitted to the mistakes he had made, and the weight of his legal troubles was no longer something he could avoid. "I know I've let a lot of people down," he said in his statement, but there was a sense of resolve in his voice. "I won't waste this moment. I promise to make better choices." Despite the legal consequences, something unexpected began to happen. The very nature of Chumlee's downfall had created a narrative of redemption, a chance for him to rebuild his life in a way that was more authentic. As the Pawn Stars network considered his future, it became clear that they weren't ready to part ways with him. The possibility of a redemption storyline emerged, with many fans eager to see him overcome his struggles and find a path to recovery. While the official word on Chumlee's return to television remained uncertain, one thing was clear: this legal battle had changed his life in profound ways. His journey from fame to scandal to redemption resonated deeply with audiences, reminding them that behind every public persona is a person who faces real challenges. What does Chumlee's story teach us about fame, personal judgment, and the pressure to live up to a carefully curated public image? Fame can be a powerful force. It can build careers, create legacies, and elevate people to legendary status. But it can also cloud judgment, create unrealistic expectations, and lead to destructive decisions. As Chumlee continues to navigate his personal journey toward recovery, one thing is clear: he is no longer just the funny guy on a reality show. He is a man who has faced the consequences of his actions and is now taking steps to rebuild his life. His story is a reminder that redemption is possible, but it requires honesty, self-reflection, and the willingness to make better choices. Do you believe that fame can change a person's judgment? Can someone like Chumlee truly redeem themselves, or is the damage too deep? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories and updates. Stay tuned as we continue to follow Chumlee's journey and the latest developments in the world of entertainment.